Right, today's video, it's on the derivations of the R formula. Right, earlier we have learned the addition formulae, the Pythagorean identities, and the double angle formulae. So in this video, we'll learn how to solve equations of the form a sine theta plus b cos theta equals to c, or a sine theta minus b cos theta equals to c, or a cos theta plus minus b sine theta equals to c, using the R formula. Right, so how do we go about doing the derivation? So we're going to let a sine theta plus b cos theta equals to r sine bracket theta plus alpha. So there are two unknowns here that we need to find. The formula to find r and the formula to find alpha. Right, so we're going to use the addition formulae to help us to simplify sine bracket theta plus alpha. Alright, so you were to recall sine bracket a plus b is equals to sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. And we're going to use that to simplify sine bracket theta plus alpha. Alright, so what's the next step we're going to do? We're going to do a comparison. We're going to let a sine theta equals to r sine theta cos alpha. Right, and we're going to divide both sides by sine theta so that you will have a equals to r cos alpha. Right, we're going to call that equation 1. Likewise, we're going to compare, we're going to let b cos theta equals to r cos theta sine alpha. Right, and we're going to divide both sides by cos theta, and we'll end up getting r sine alpha equals to b, and we're going to call that equation 2. Right, so the next step is I'm going to square equation 1. That means I'm going to square r cos alpha to get r squared cos squared alpha, and I'm going to square a also. So in the end, I'll get r squared cos squared alpha equals to a squared. And I'm going to square equation 2 also to get r squared sine squared alpha equals to b squared. And I'm going to add these two equations together. Right. So you will see that I have a common factor r squared where I can factorize it. And cos squared alpha plus sine squared alpha would be your Pythagorean identities that you have learned earlier on, which is equals to 1. So you will have r squared times 1 equals to a squared plus b squared. And therefore, r is equals to square root of a squared plus b squared. Right. Then we still have to find the unknown alpha. So we're going to take equation 2 to divide by equation 1. And then we end up getting tangent alpha, which is equals to b over a. Hence, alpha is equals to tangent inverse b over a. Right, so this is the derivations to find the unknown r and alpha. Right, we're going to do one example. So if a given 4 sine x plus 3 cos x, right, we need to express it in the form r sine bracket x plus alpha. All right, and then after that, we need to solve it. Solve the equation equals to 4.8. Okay, so what is the first step we need to do? Yes, we need to let 4 sine x plus 3 cos x equals to r sine bracket x plus alpha. Now, if you were to write sine x first, then that will be equals to r sine x plus alpha. Right, so we're going to write down the values of a and b. So the values of a will be 4, and the values of b will be 3. Right, so what is the formula to find r? R will be equals to square root of a squared plus b squared. In this case here is equals to 5. And how do you find alpha? Alpha is equals to tangent inverse b over a. In this case here is 36.8. 87 degree. Right, so if you combine them, your 4 sine x plus 3 cos x is equals to 5 sine bracket x plus 36.87 degree. All right, then the next step is using what we have found. We want to solve this equation. So 5 sine bracket x plus 36.87 degrees is equals to 4.8. We're going to make sine the subject on the left-hand side. All right, so 4.8 divided by 5 is 0.96. All right, recall how do we solve a trigo equation? What is the first step? Yes, the first step is to find your alpha. So the alpha is just sine inverse 0.96, which is 73.74. Then the next step is to find the new range. Right. So for sine to be positive, all right, 0.96 is a positive value. The next step is to find your ASTC. Draw your ASTC. So for sine ratio to be a positive, the angle will come from the first and the second quadrant. So first quadrant will be 73.74. Second quadrant will be 180 minus alpha, which is 180 minus 73.74. Then from there, you can find the value of x. All right, so this is how you solved a trigo equations using R formula. All right, it's called the R formula because of this letter R here. All right, so using the same method as what we have shown in slide 4, you can actually find the formula for A sine theta minus B cos theta. Right, it's just equals to R sine bracket theta minus alpha. So if you're given A sine theta minus B cos theta, you see the position. If it's A sine theta, that means you write sine theta first followed by cos theta. Then the formula is R sine. Okay, sine. But the formula to find R is the same. It's just square root A squared plus B squared. The formula to find alpha is also the same, tangent inverse B over A. Then what happens if you want to find A cos theta plus B sine theta? Right, then that is a different story already. If you write A cos theta first, right, then that will be equals to R cos. Okay, and because you're using the addition formula, right, if you're using the addition formula, if you have cosine A plus B, you get cosine A cosine B, then minus sine A sine B, right? So if this guy is a plus, then this is a negative here. Okay, right, but the formula to find R is still the same. It's just square root A squared plus B squared. The formula to find alpha is also the same, tangent inverse B over A. Then similarly, if it's A cos theta minus B sine theta is equals to R cos, but it's theta plus alpha, okay, based on your addition formula for cosine. All right, if the symbol here, if the operation is already here, it's negative, then this guy here will be a positive. The formula is still the same to find R, still the same to find alpha. Right, let's do one example. Okay, right, so you're given 3 cos theta plus 4 sine theta. Right, so cos theta come first. So that will be equals to R cos bracket theta minus alpha. All right, if this guy is a plus, this guy is a negative. Plus on the left, then negative on the right. Okay, so what is the formula to find R? Oh, wait, hang on. Write down the values of A and B first. So your A is 3, B is 4. Right, how do you know A is 3, B is 4? You just compare it with your A cosine theta plus B sine theta. So your A will be 3, your B will be 4, right? What's the formula to find R? Yes. What's the formula to find alpha? Yes. Then you combine them, you would be able to express 3 cos theta plus 4 sine theta as a single trigo term equals to 5 cos bracket theta minus 53.1.